I sat there and I heard so many foul things being said. And you have to sit there and hear people that know nothing talk so badly about somebody that you love, and not only love, they are selfless in every way. I took that to the gym and I made sure I tear this world apart to prove my point.
What was it like having to deal with the criticism, you have an unproven coach, or somebody who's not been in the sport as much? Like, what was that moment like for both of you?
I mean, for us for a long time, we found it funny because we didn't even know, because we lived the life like this. We've done it right. Like I said, Mel got me into bodybuilding. Every single prep, every single training, every single thing I've ever done, she knows like the back of her hand. She knows just as much as I do. She knows everything. So we've been backwards and forward with each other for years. It's not even like, even when people don't understand, like even when I had coaches working with me, they never communicate with me directly. They communicate with her. Oh, how's he feeling today? What did he have? What did he eat? Oh yeah, he did this, he did that, she was always there in the conversation. When we sat down after, before a show, and we was like, okay, what do we want to do with this show? We all sat down as a trio and said, okay, right, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think worked? Oh, he was better when he did this. He was better when he did that. Okay. And we all put our brains together. We all come up with a plan together to do the next show. This is what we've developed for years. So when we came to the point where it was like, okay, we need a new coach, and I was like, oh, you do it. It was just a simple no-brainer. It wasn't even like a thought. It was just like, well, duh, you do it. But we didn't understand that on the outside world looking in, they didn't see that. People didn't know that. So when I said, oh yeah, Mel's coaching me, people that knew, they was like, oh, duh, why not? She's perfect. So when we got a lot of backlash, going, oh, I'm proving coach, another person, what does she know, whatever. I'm like, have you been watching them? Like, so that was the first time I was like, oh, people didn't actually know how involved she was at my journey this whole time. They didn't have an idea. So I kind of smiled, and we kind of smiled, going, oh, you're about to see something then. Get ready. So when you think, we did Arnold, Ohio, and then Mel picked me up for the Arnold UK. And they were like 2 weeks apart. People already saw drastic difference in my physique just that 2 weeks. Because that was the moment I was like, told you she knows what she's doing. But even then, it wasn't like people weren't convinced. They just didn't quite get it. I was like, well, now she's got a year to get me ready for the Olympia. And I looked at them, I was like, And there was a lot of things being said, and it was frustrating because you kind of, you know this, you've seen this, and you put it on your videos, you talked about it over and over again, and you feel like no one listened. And I was like, you do realize she knows more about this sport and my physique more than anybody else on this planet. She knows me inside out, not just physique, mentally. She knows what I take, she knows everything. Like you live with your coach that knows everything about you. You couldn't pick a perfect situation ever. Like, if she says eat this, that's all you eat. If she says that's all you do. If she said train at this time, that's all you do. There's no, this is it. And she sees you every day, every single moment. Not just when you're your best, but when you're your worst. She knows what you look like every time because she's always there. I'm like, you do realize this is the perfect coaching situation here. But people they didn't see it that way. So when you had to go through a whole year of people, debating, oh, he's gonna look worse than he's ever looked. This is a terrible idea. This is bad. This is whatever. And you're standing there. We kind of, that's why I said we had to laugh. We're going, they really don't know, do they? They're gonna find out. So when the Olympia stage came along, I was like, And I said to her, I was like, the minute we are win, I'm gonna call you to come on the stage and you're gonna pick up that trophy because it's yours. So when we went on that stage and that happened, I was like, told you so. So that's why because it was hard. It was hard listening to people that didn't really know, but they had a lot to say. And it's hard to listen it's one thing when it's your friend or anything, but when it's your wife, it's like, it's personal. That is when I'm like, yo, come on, we have lines. It's that borders you don't cross. Like, we didn't make, even the idea that people didn't stop to think, why would somebody that's already at the top of their game in a professional sport where they're one of the best in the world, all of a sudden going, by the way, I'm gonna have my wife to coach me now. And you don't think there was any reason for that? Like, he just randomly picked somebody randomly, oh yeah, you can coach me now. And there must be a reason. If he's picking someone there, an informed decision, there must be more to it. There must be one. And they never took the time to go back and say, okay, like, from what I remember when he said in this interview, he said his wife was really involved. From what I remember when they did this video, she was really there, like changing his poses. But I remember they didn't bother doing their research that way. And I was like, dude, the signs were there the whole time. So when we walked out on that stage and people were like, oh, he looked the best he's ever looked. You kind of like, so we're like, yeah, well, and you're gonna keep seeing that more and more, because now where she's just the one had just fully control of everything, she's just gonna get better at it. And she's gonna make me better at it. So I'm like, every time we get on stage, you're gonna be like, well, there she goes, she's done it again.
I've been getting tons of messages asking about my health protocols ever since I did the world's heaviest marathon. The experience took a toll, and getting back to optimal health has been an absolute journey. That's where Marek Health have been absolutely essential. Their approach is beyond quick fixes. It's about long-term health and performance. They work with medical professionals to create personalized, evidence-based plans tailored to your needs, using pharmaceutical-grade treatments and cutting-edge diagnosis. Whether it's TRT, peptides, supplements, or like me, getting full health analysis to get you back on track, Marek Health provides everything that you need. And it's not just for athletes. If you're an entrepreneur or businessman like me, you might want that renewed focus, clarity, and energy. That's when Marek Health can get your brain performing at its peak. From comprehensive blood work to customized health plans, Marek gives you the tools to optimize your life. If you're ready to take control of your health, go to marekhealth.com and use code Mulligan for 10% off. The link's down below. I can't recommend them enough. And if you just wanted to get started, I would go and get your blood work done. Go get assessed, find out where they can help you. Use the link down below for 10% off using code Mulligan. Let's dive back into the video.
You say we a lot, which, you know, I don't know if you know you consciously do that, but you do say like it, which is really nice. And I think it was, I think there might have been a big article about it where you fell to your knees and they wrote about, you know, that moment. But seeing the footage of you two embrace and like that, what's that moment like for you? You know?
Oh God, it felt like, especially after the kind of year we had where we felt like we had a lot to prove. That we made all that moment. But now there was just so many boxes ticked in that moment where it's like, not only was it the person that got you into the sport in the first place, it was the same person that went through all the bad, hard times with you, the person that was in debt with you, the same person that crawled through the mud with you and went through the fight and the battle, the same person that picked you up time and time and time when you got hit and told you don't give up, one more time, the same person that went through all of that. And they were right there. Every training session, she was right there. Every video, she was right there, holding you through every set, every rep, all time and time again. And even when, you know, other coaches were involved, she was still right there, holding and putting everybody in their place and saying, no, you can't do that, you can't do this. She was working that whole time. And then you have this finale where the final year before that happens, you then have this person that's been there the whole time being completely, utterly selfless in every way, gets completely demolished by people's opinion that didn't care or didn't know. And you had to sit there and grip your teeth and take it, you know? And that for me, it really pissed me off, you know? Because I sat there and I heard so many foul things being said. And I wanted to lash out. I felt like, you know, I'm not putting up with this. But she told me, don't, just leave it. We'll show them, don't do anything. And you have to sit there and hear people that know nothing talk so badly about somebody that you love, and not only love, they are selfless in every way. And you have to sit there and listen to that. So I took that to the gym and I made sure I tear this world apart to prove my point. So when we stood on that Olympia stage and that moment happened, it wasn't just, oh, look, he did it. It was, no, we did it. We told you and you didn't believe us. Now, here you go. And I'm gonna keep doing that until you can't take enough of it. I'll do it every year until I make it clear that this was not just me. There was somebody there this whole time that you didn't think much about, that you didn't give any power to, and you tossed to the side, you thought, she's just a wife. I'm gonna show you what she can do. And I'm gonna be that tool of it.
Thank you for sharing that, man. Thank you for sharing that. I know obviously it was such a moment for you, like a happy moment to raise that trophy. And I don't know if you would feel this way, but the way you just spoke then, was there a satisfaction in, excuse my French, in saying "f*** you"?
Oh God, yeah. God, yeah. That moment, it felt right there at that time. It felt like, oh yeah, this one, I'm not, because I always said to her, I remember we were going out, I always said to her that, you know what, most of the time I've been through a lot, through life where people haven't believed in you, people have said stuff and you've proved them wrong then. And every single time I never turned around and said it. I was just, okay, well, I proved my point. I don't need to say I told you, so I just move on to the next thing. But that one hurt so much because it wasn't directly at me, it was directly at somebody I cared about. And I was like, no, this time when I prove my point, I'm gonna put it in your face and make sure that you see it. So when that moment happened where, you know, they called the winner out, they put out a gold trophy there. First time I was like, yeah, pick it up, that's yours. Now pick it up and show them all that, there we go. There you go. And that was for me, felt like, yeah, that was my fuck you moment. Yeah, you know, deal with it, you know. So, you know, so even what happened made it sweeter is like, it felt good when I lifted it up, but that, when she lifted it felt all the more sweeter. And I would say that was my favorite photo. That was my favorite moment. I was like, yeah, great. You get one life. You only get the one. There's no reruns. There's no, well, I'll start again. No, you get this one. There will never be the right time to do something. You have to make that happen. You have to go in there because a life going after a goal, whether you achieve it or not, is never a life wasted.